Okay.
So first you're going to want to turn your machine on with the green button, and then the screen is going to flash on. It's going to take a couple of seconds to boot up. You want to make sure that both of the green power buttons are on both sides of the machine. If both buttons are not pressed, the machine's not going to turn on. So both of those two green buttons need to be on. And now your screen's going to come on. Right now it's showing e-stop because we have one of the red buttons pressed down. If you release it, you'll get your manual screen. So a few of the different ways that you'll get that e-stop screen is if this red button or the red button on the other side is pressed down. Also, if you lift the front cover up here, that will dump all the air out of the system and the e-stop screen will come on. These are safety measures to allow you to load material, work on the machine without air being in the system and potentially having the risk of the blade going across and causing a huge issue. So now that we have the machine on, it automatically boots to the automatic screen. So this is where you would run a program of a few or as many pieces as you want set to a cut length. Once you load your material into the front of the machine, you're going to want to do a crop cut to zero the encoder. You should do this every time you change the material or take the material out of the rollers, because the encoder moves on the material every time you move that material manually. So now that you've loaded it, you want to come to your manual screen. If you didn't see here, I pressed the manual screen button in the bottom right corner from the default screen. And here you can automatically pulse the drive motor forward and reverse to drive the liner in and out of the machine. So if I hold down the forward button, the material is going to drive through, and you're going to want to drive the material past the cutting blade and over the eye sensor at the front of the machine, which is a red laser pointing straight down. And once you've crossed that, you can hit cross cut, the blade will shoot across, and now you've done your crop cut. And since the material is not going to move anymore, the encoder is zeroed and you can start your cutting program. So to start a cutting program, you go back to your main screen, press the bottom right again, and you're always going to want to hit reset on the screen when your cut count matches your current count, because that means that the count that you've put in is maxed out and it's not going to cut anymore. So if I was to try to start cutting liner right now and hit start, nothing would happen because we're maxed out. So now that I hit reset, I can put in my cut length of, let's say, 5 inches, press enter, my cut count, which would be 1, press enter. I just want one piece, 5 inches long. And when I hit start, it's going to run a 5-inch piece. Stop it, and you can take your piece off and measure it. Now, you want to reset, and if you want to do multiple pieces, 2 or more, you could press 2 pieces of 5 inches, press start. The machine's going to run one piece, but now it's not going to run the second piece until you take the material off the table, because it's blocking this sensor, and the machine's not going to cut again unless the sensor is unblocked. So now that I remove the material, it'll cut again. And there you have your 2 cuts of 5 inches. This one was slit, so we have 2 pieces slit about down the middle. And now that your cut count is maxed, if I were to hit start, nothing's going to happen. If I wanted to run this again, I would have to hit the blue reset button to stop running, to start running again. Okay, so if you realize that your cuts are not coming out as accurate as you want them to and they're out of tolerance, you can manually adjust that using the manual offset programmed into the screen. So if you hit manual screen and then hit offset, the yellow button here, you could actually tie in an offset to the current length that you're going to cut. So if you're cutting 5 inches and you keep getting 4 3/4 and you want to get that exact 5 inches, you could hit 0.25. That would be plus a 1/4 inch. So if you keep getting 4 3/4, add a 1/4, now you'll get 5 inches. And you go back to main screen, and it takes you right back to your automatic cutting program. And I could hit start, run one piece, and now it should have added a 1/4 inch to my cut. Now, the opposite way works if you're over. You can go back here to manual screen and to offset. And if you keep getting 5 1/4 and you want 5, you would have to put in negative 0.25. Now you're a 1/4 under your main cut. So if you keep getting 5 1/4, now if you wanted 5, that would take a 1/4 inch off from the encoder and bring it down to 5 inches.